A lot of people who enjoy the programme like these stories, particularly about people that I've been lucky enough to meet and by association find stories out and about from. This particular segment might actually be entitled Not in Front of the Children, because it features one of the biggest sex symbols of her generation, but not just sort of in the Mamie Van Doren, Cherie North, Carol Baker, Marilyn Monroe sort, the one that could really explode a screen simply just by sauntering on there, uttering a few words and sauntering off. That was the deal, wasn't it, with the wonderful Mae West. But way back in 1964, the brilliant Mae got a break that even she could not have foreseen. You see, what was fascinating about that, she'd been sort of semi-retired, made a lot of money, all thanks to her wonderful stint in, of course, Las Vegas, did a lot of things like that. And more importantly, realised that there were still fans out there. What really exploded was the Academy Awards in the late 1950s. She sauntered on alongside the gorgeous Rock Hudson to sing Baby It's Cold Outside. I say sing, using that term loosely, of course. She parodied herself, stole the show, and everybody was talking about Mae. But you see, what had happened was it had revitalised her career once again. Her films were being shown on late night TV. So it came as a bit of a shock in 1964 when Mae West agreed to this. And her latest co-star was, well, none other than this. Right, you see, Mae's co-star was none other than the very popular TV show Mr. Ed. Now, I remember Mr. Ed from TV reruns when I was growing up. I thought it was terrific. I didn't know how they got the horse to talk, but we just loved it, did we not? But there's always a backstory, you see, and one particular star who I interviewed told me exactly how Mae was rather upset about how this sort of involved in the end, because the person that she was going to appear in the show with was none other than Rock Hudson. Now, here's where it got even more interesting, because after the sensation of Rock and Mae at the Academy Award series, Mae pitted an idea to Rock about, well, sort of movies now, starring her and him, rather than Doris Day and Rock Hudson. Mae, I don't know if you know this, forever played 27 on screen. Fascinated, I'm sure you'll agree. At this point, she was well into her 50s, But what was interesting about this particular deal was this, that Mae herself decided, well, I want to appear on Mr. Ed because she wanted to connect with a younger generation. Now, the idea really was that Rock Hudson would make a cameo. That never actually came off. But when the show was aired, it was a terrific success for Mae West, reconnecting her not just to a younger audience, but also reminding her older fans of why they loved her so much. The company loved Mae so much, they went back to her and said, look, we've got this terrific idea. How about the Mae West show where you interview people, a sort of chat show? Mae said no, she didn't find anybody as fascinating as herself. Yeah. So they said, well, what else would you like to do? And so she pivoted these ideas and said, well, what about this, or a sitcom or something like that? But she insisted that all the leading men had to be around about her age, which was 27. Now, as I say, Mae looked terrific, but even at the best will in the world, with all the wonderful lighting and technology of television at that time, you could not say that Mae West was around about 27. So the idea simply petered out. She didn't need the money. She was incredibly wealthy, all thanks to her property investments in and around Hollywood when she first started. But it's interesting to note that she never let go of the fact that she knew what was good for Mae West. And what was good for Mae West in 1964 was a box office ratings TV hit, a one-off appearance on this terrific show, Mr. Ed. And out of all the shows, that's still the one that gets requested the most for reruns and, reissues. Interesting to note, isn't it? Even in this age of the 21st century, Mae West can still command attention. All thanks to a talking horse. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.